If everybody can, please mute. Terry, if you can mute.
I'm trying.
Welcome, Afortus TV, June 29th, 2026. Excited to be with you on this bright morning and our start and launch of YouTube TV.
Retirement isn't just about money. It's about freedom, security, and living life on your terms. Millions of Americans face uncertainty about their retirement, questions about income, taxes,
We can barely hear it, Brett.
protecting what they've worked a lifetime to build. At Afortus Financial, we make retirement planning simple and built around your goals through
education, proven strategies, and guidance, we help families create confidence in retirement. On this channel, you'll get practical retirement strategies, learn how to grow as a top-producing agent, and hear real conversations with industry experts on Afortus TV. We are more than a financial services company. We're a community of leaders and professionals committed to your success. Subscribe today and join thousands of agents and retirees taking control of their future. Welcome to Afortus Financial.
We are live, YouTube TV. If you have not already liked and subscribed, please go to the YouTube channel and do so. And we are covering recognitions, office hours with Gloria, and Afortus Success Formula today. So welcome. Let's get started with our recognition section. Total company and top regions this week. Let's start off with top 10 agents submitted this last week. We have number 10, Kent Crump out of Texas with 33.99. Excited to see Robert Marshall with 36.66 this last week. Way to go, Robert. Jason Kessler, number 8 with 49.58. Brad Peterson with 6,000 out of Heath Thompson's region. Ruth Erdman with 66.33. Robin Denny with 6,800. Timothy Harris with 81.87. Matthew Schmidt, 8,400 points. Way to go, Matthew, our number 3 top agent this last week. Bradley Bishop with 9,600, number 2. And David Dell, our number 1 agent with 14,927. David, please share something with us this morning that will help all be able to duplicate what you're doing on a weekly basis.
Well, this was a warm market sale. My son-in-law, actually. I guess all I can say is it's important that everybody know what you do in your family, right? And but I'm actually more excited about I have raised 3 daughters, and only one of our daughters has had children, so we have 2 grandsons there. But my oldest daughter, who is now 44, we just found out she's pregnant. And well, not just found out, but she's due in 2 months. And so her and her fiance are excited about that. So that's what motivated their desire to get some life insurance, because they're also buying a big ranch up in Colorado. So anyway, the need was there, and it was exciting to be able to help them out in this way.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Anybody else from the top 10 like to share about what their week was like and how others might be able to duplicate what you did? All right, well, let's go.
For me, well, I'll just tell you, referrals are good. and taking care of clients. So when they come up with other money, they end up with inheritance or whatnot, they call you back. So that's nice.
Thank you, Ruth. Our top 5 regions submitted this last week. Matthew Schmidt with 8,400, number 5. Brad Bishop, number 4. Ruth Erdman with 13,400, number 3. Brett Olson, just shy of 15,000. And number 1, Heath Thompson with 18,300 in production. Heath, anything that you'd like to mention about your team's production this last week?
A lot of good stuff coming from some of the newer agents. Brad Peterson, as you saw, was 6,000. Noel continues to produce. Tim Harris, great production. I asked him about it, and he called it warm market saturation. 2 annuities and a referral, 600 a month IUL. So congratulations to the team.
Awesome. All right. Let's continue with our top 10 consistency, and that means the number of weeks in a row that you've had a business without missing a week. And we have now some new people that are added to our top 10 consistency. Number 10, Robert Marshall with 2 weeks in a row and 11.5 in production. Excited to see you there, Robert. Number 9, Anthony Taylor, 3 weeks in a row with 75.95. Tana Machete, 3 weeks in a row with 83.59. Timothy Harris, 3 weeks in a row with 12.4 in production. Errol Parker, 9 weeks in a row with 27,000. Brad Bishop, 12 weeks in a row with 81,000. Robin Denny with 24 weeks in a row, over 117,000. Chantravi Blair, number 3, with 40 weeks in a row and 174,000. Number 2, by 1 week, Rick Thomas with 41 weeks in a row and 143,000. And Ruth Erdman still leading the charge with 96 weeks in a row, 693,851, pushing 2 years without missing a week in production. Ruth, anything you'd like to share about your leading the way in consistency week after week?
Plan your work and work your plan.
Love it.
Nothing happens by accident. You have to plan. Even like when I had surgery, which I have, I mean, I'm like 4 weeks out right now. You have to work around when you know you're going to be down. Give yourself a little time. Pack your days full. I mean, I am working. When I work 12, 14-hour days, you got to plan your day and you got to stick to it. Work on a calendar, work on a schedule. If you do that, you will always make sure you have something. Just know that some of those weeks, it may have been a juvenile policy for 200 points, but it kept me consistent. It was better than a sharp stick in the eye. It's because I kept finding money wherever I could find it. So don't think that it's huge numbers every single week. It's just putting something up every week makes a difference.
Absolutely. Thank you for those comments, Ruth. New openers this last week. Austin Mertz, brand new opener out of Heath Thompson's region, and Michelle, help me with this, Michael Anur? Anauer, out of Michael Given's region, brand new opener. Thank you guys for this, and let's get our focus back to onboarding and getting people up and running. That's where the lifeblood of our business comes from, and we want to see that grow and expound and explode on a weekly basis. We should be back up into the 20s of people being onboarded on a weekly basis. Here are our Voxer ride-along shares for this last week. We have Tana Machete with 2, Ruth Erdman with 3, Jason Kessler with 3, Rick Thomas with 3. We want to see all of our regional managers here. This is where you train and support your new teams as they are being promoted inside of the Voxer ride-along shares. Voxer appointment reviews. We have Tabitha Erdman, Jason Kessler, Anu, Chantravi Blair, Anthony, Gina, and Robin Denny. We love seeing those on a daily basis, and it's really motivational and promotes a lot of successes and how to duplicate successes there. Thank you for those. Top 10 agents year to date issue paid. Robin Denny, number 10, 150 behind number 9. Brett Olson with 8,800 behind 8th position. David Dell, 3114 behind 7th position. Seth Thomas, number 7, who's 3292 behind 6th. Chantra V. Blair, who's 6th, 2247 behind 5th. Number 5, Errol Parker, 7273 behind 4th. Number 4, Brad Bishop, 10,844 behind 3rd position. Jason Kessler, 10,504 behind 2nd. Ruth Erdman in 2nd position, 10,954 behind 1st. Number 1, Heath Thompson. Heath, anything to share about those that you're working with and this category, leading by example?
Well, just keep plugging away, just keep plugging away. Don't you quit. Quick little story. Nope, I'll save it. But yeah, just keep hanging in there. Good things will happen. Keep attending, keep showing up. You'll figure it out.
Please, appreciate it, Heath. First given. These are our top 10, and we're going to start off with Rick Thomas. Everybody else can see where they're at, but Rick Thomas averaging 12 appointments a week. Heath Thompson averaging 10 appointments a week. But Rick, please share with us your expertise in running more than 10 first appointments every single week. Maybe Heath, you could jump in.
Well, you just caught me putting a donut in my mouth. Yeah, I would say just got to focus on everything you got going on. You can't rely just on the Afortus appointments. Spend some time cultivating B leads. Spend some time cultivating your warm market. I mentioned that Tim, over the last few weeks, has been good in production, and he isn't even running Afortus appointments. Just doing a lot with his warm market, talking to everybody he knows, and there's lots of business out there. So focus on 10. Always focus on 10, and good things will happen.
Thank you. Here is our 5-week presentation performance indicator score. And just for those of you that are new to understand how this is being tracked, what we're doing is we're tracking the average first presentations that are given each week, and we are combining those with the sales that are being made from those first appointments given. That's giving us an average point value, or the amount of production that's spread across the number of first appointments given. And then that gives you a score. That's where that ranking comes from. And then the points per average appointment score is your second score, which is the amount of points or production amount that you were given by each appointment given. And then that gives you your total PPI score. And these are our top 10. Stephen Duffy, number 10. Samantha Sanders, number 9. Brett Olson, number 8. Lauren Branner, number 7. Rick Thomas, number 6. Matthew Schmidt, number 5. Michael Givens, number 4. Brad Bishop, number 3. Heath Thompson, number 1. And tied for number 1, Robin Denny, number 1. I believe that this may be a first for you, Robin, in this category. If you're with us, please share with us what you're doing to stay consistent and be on top this week with your PPI score.
Well, there were a couple of things. First off, I took a week off of leads because I had a lot of B leads that were created by me. Reached out, had my assistant reach out to them, get them back on the calendar, retouched, warm market, called people I hadn't spoken to, used that big old phone of mine with all those contacts. And that's what brings projection. I didn't need any more appointments because I already had enough. I wanted to get these people back on the calendar. and it works. You know, you don't need appointments every week. If you got those B leads, go back into your warm market, anybody you spoke to. And guess what? I put in the hours, lots of hours, Saturdays, Sundays. I made myself available to people when they needed me available. And it shows this week because I'm all over this board. Hard work. And I will continue to do the hard work for the reward.
Thank you, Robin. And for those that are new or don't know what a B lead is, maybe describe in layman's terms what a B lead means to you.
So when you get a first appointment and if they don't show or they don't respond or for some reason or another they didn't cancel, you have that lead for 6 months. Get it back on your calendar, send them an email, call them, text them, and continue to do it. I give it about a month and then I start. When you get them back on your calendar, again, send out your confirmation. So it's a lead that went warm.
Thank you. Thank you, Robin.
You're welcome.
Great job. All right, here is our June/July calendar, hot off the presses. So please remember Afortus TV every Monday with us. And in July, we have master classes that are every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Mountain, RM training every Friday at 11 Mountain, Afortus TV every Monday. You see it on the 6th again, right after our 250 anniversary at 9 a.m. Mountain. Monday morning, masterclass again, Wednesday at 9 a.m. Mountain. Friday the 10th. So it's been adjusted from this Friday to a week from Friday. So make that change. Those of you that had leadership all hands for this Friday, make that adjustment and change to Friday the 10th at 11 a.m. And then Afortus TV again, Monday morning, the 13th at 9 a.m. Wednesday, the 15th, masterclass at 9 a.m. And then every week we have product training on Thursdays at 11 a.m.
Every week.
Off for the, or for this current week, product training at 11 a.m. We're off for the summer with our meat and potatoes class. And then this Saturday, Elite Forum at 10 a.m. Mountain. Okay. Take a snapshot of this picture and add all of this to your calendar so you have it, and we will go from there. Thank you. Regional onboarding. We have, with Heath Thompson's region, Austin Mertz, one person onboarded this last month, and Rick Thomas with Matthew Cruz, one person onboarded this last week. Welcome to Austin and Matthew to Afortus, and we can't be more excited for you and excited for your growth and expertise and what you bring to the table, and excited to see you and get you up and running this next week with Afortus. Okay, we are excited to announce Gloria, who has just come back off of maternity leave. We are so privileged to have her with us. For those of you that don't know, she helps all of us with processing, and we could not do this business without her. She, in fact, when she was gone, our production dropped off, and there was only one reason, and it is denoted back to her of how important she is in the cog of this Afortus wheel, that we need her to be a part of us. And those of you that do not use her for processing, boy, are you missing out. She absolutely changes the game, understands the nuances to getting your business from being submitted to issue paid. And we put too much work into submitting a piece of business to not have her on those apps and make sure that she's there to help us in getting that business submitted and turning into issue paid business. So with that, let's turn some time over to Gloria, and I'm excited to have her with us and welcome the new baby to the Afortus family that Gloria and team has.
Hi everyone. My name is Gloria. Like I said, I just got back at the beginning of June, but I'm happy to be working again. My goal as a processor is just help you guys to get all the kind of underwriting nitpicky things through and kind of take it off your hands. I really try to stay on top of follow up for all that extra paperwork that we can get from F&G Life. And kind of be in between between you and the and your clients and F&G to make sure that everyone has all the information, understands what we're at. I guess, and I can help with a lot of things post issue as well, any adjustments that need to be made. Uh, and I just try to take things off your hands after you've gotten it already closed up. So I'm not sure if you have any questions, or what info I could share. And kind of here in the background, always making sure that you guys are aware of where your business is, what is the next step, and trying to keep the client in the loop as well.
Awesome, Gloria. If you have comments or questions, please share them in the chat. Maybe, Gloria, you could send your contact information through the chat so that everybody has it. And if there are any questions that somebody wants to bring up live to her right now that are pertinent specifically to processing a business, go ahead and share that with Gloria. Otherwise, she will be there to answer your questions throughout the chat. Thank you, Gloria, for being a part of this here this morning.
You're welcome.
That's IUL business, not annuity business, by the way.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next part of our business, and that is our Fortis Success Formula. And throughout this presentation, you'll be asked to take a self-quiz. It's going to help you if you open up your stat report on the home page so that you can have those numbers in front of you for this self-quiz. This is something that you can give yourself a checkup and be able to see how well it is that you are doing in all areas of the success formula through Afortus. Each of these are one cog to the wheel that working together will help you drastically improve your income. By the end of this presentation, we're going to share with you several examples of just little things that you can make adjustments to so that you can improve your success from appointments to presentations to applications, placement, and referrals. And the first one that we just started off with was Gloria, making sure that she's on each of your apps to process that business for you. Because unless she's on that app, she doesn't know about that app and being able to help you make sure that that business is able to be processed. So I wanted to show you what this is going to look like at the end of the quiz so that you can go ahead and join us for this self-quiz. And again, this is just going to be between you and your stat report on where you're at with this score. But at the end, we're going to show you what the total score is going to end up being. And based upon your points, if you're 0 to 8, you can turn this around. If you're 9 to 15, we want to keep working. If you're 16 to 22, commendable. 23 to 29, very good. And 30 plus, excellent. So let's start off. Have your stat report in front of you, and let's go through this. And I promise you, there is going to be gems in here and throughout all of this that either you've forgotten about or that could be learned in a way that's going to help improve this week from what you did this last week. So let's start off with number one. A lot of what those that did have production this last week have done an awesome job in talking about, and that is getting as many at-bats as possible. So for example, callbacks and CRM, like we heard from Robin, and working your top 50 list, which we call your world market, like we heard from Ruth and David Dell. And then annual reviews is a big, big plus, especially once you've been in the business for at least a year or more, that you are following up with those clients and showing how the income gap is looking now after a year with their first product and helping them in other areas that they can be helped in. And then after each appointment, we're going to talk about referrals and how to more easily get those from clients and talking to people, as we've heard from Heath that several of his agents that are doing such a powerhouse job on a weekly basis. And remember that after the Afortus appointments that are assigned to you that are of no cost from Afortus to be provided to you, all of these additional appointments are at no cost to you, or they are going to count towards the production that you're writing because you've created those at-bats. So this is what I want to quiz yourself on. Let's start off with give yourself from a 0 to 7 plus based upon the areas that you ran appointments this last week. So how many no-cost appointments? If there were 0, if you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, grade yourself and give yourself that score, and then we'll move on. Give yourself a minute to do that. Okay, next area, the Afortus success formula. First is our presentations. And what is the purpose of our first presentation? Go ahead and share your video and unmute yourself if you know the answer to what is the purpose of the first presentation.
To get a solid second.
Absolutely. And what are the primary things that we want to obtain in that first presentation to ensure that we know that the sell is made in that first presentation?
And on the income gap.
Income gap is most important. Ruth, you nailed it right on the head. What else?
Find the money.
There we go, Michael. Absolutely. And so along that way, we've got about 5 seconds once we introduce ourselves using the script to build that trust, complete the F&A, help them understand what their needs are from their specific scenario, if that's a pension or based upon replacing their income with what strategies they've already put together or need to put together to, like what Ruth just said, follow through with that income gap. Create urgency. Emergency is going to be the reason why they're going to want to meet with us on that next appointment based upon scheduling that second appointment, ideally within 24 to 48 hours. Here's just a list of some of the common mistakes. Hopefully none of us are making any of those. And then best practices, following the script, asking questions, listening more than you're speaking, and creating pain and hope, and then booking that second appointment within 24 to 48 hours. Any other questions or comments or things that you have found that work for you that help us accomplish this in this first presentation? All right. Let's move on.
I had my hand up, but I believe that when you go to book a follow-up appointment, just give them 2 choices. Don't let them know your whole calendar's open. It doesn't make you look like you're valuable. It doesn't make you look like a professional, because to get on my calendar, it's tricky. And I tell them, hey, if you don't catch, let them know that your calendar's tight, but you can squeeze them in here or there. Don't say, oh, I'm available anytime, I got nothing going on. Do not tell them that. You are a professional. Professionals have busy calendars. Give them 2 choices, because that will really set up how they look at you.
Beautifully said, Ruth. Thank you. Anyone else? All right. The success formula from Afortus on second presentations help and ensure that you are focused on the follow-up from the first appointment, that's the very first thing that you want to do is fuel the flame, give them the fire of what it is that they were excited about in the first presentation. In just the first few minutes of the second presentation, remind them what it was that excited them about scheduling that second presentation with you. And then review with them in regards to the commitments that they had made, the dollar amount, and the tax battles or the rate of return that they were interested in solving from the first presentation. And then follow back up with those commitments and the gap protection. And that's going to be probably, in most cases, the number one reason that they are meeting with you again. And so cover that with them. Remind them the rate of return battle and the tax battles, and ask them again if they remember what it was that excited them most and which options they picked from those battles. And then help them along the way for those that it may have been forgotten from the day before when you met with them last. And then present the solution. And for me, it's real simple. The sale has already been made in that first presentation. And so I can very easily then bring back up the options on the rate of return battle. And usually that's that historical chart that we show them in the 3 areas that they win money, and helping them understand that there's the fixed market and index strategy and the rates of returns back through historical returns of who's ended up with the most. And they see for themselves, get the confirmation of why they picked that index strategy. And then going right into the 3 ways in which money grows on the tax strategy and showing them those options so that they understand why they picked that index strategy and the potentially 7702 option. Don't focus on product information too much. That's a problem in the first presentation. We never bring that up at all, but dial that in on the second presentation, but just keep it high level, just enough information that gets them to understand and make that commitment solid of what decision they made on that first presentation. And then remembering not to ask for the application and having too many weak transitions. Best practices, again, follow the script, ask questions, listen more than you speak, create pain and hope, and book that second, we're in the second presentation, so make sure that then we just dial that in, and it's just a simple transition to the application, and that is our gotcha close, where we've helped them understand that, hey, you know what? There's a gotcha, and it's a big gotcha. You're probably not going to like it, but we've got to first see if we can even get you qualified before we can move to that next option. And so let's see if we can't help you get qualified for this. And it should just be a simple transition to where they say, yes, let's go ahead and move forward with that application. Sue, you had your hand up.
My comment was simply, we don't ask for the application of, to me, it's an assumption. If you're asking them something along the lines of, wow, can you see how that will take care of your income gap? And they're saying yes, and they've been saying, wow, yes, all along, then here's what we need to do. And it's simply, you explain we need to fill out that application, and you just go and you make them stop you. It's not, well, shall we fill out an application? That's my point. We don't ask.
Perfect, Sue. Thank you for those comments. The Afortus Success Formula, quiz yourself. Quiz yourself first on the presentation and the second presentation. So give yourself 1 point if your confirmation from your stat report shows that you're over 70%. And then first to set to first given, give yourself another point if your stat report shows that you're over 70%, first given to second set. Give yourself another point if you are higher than 70%. Second set to seconds given. If you're higher than 65%, give yourself another point. Seconds given to cells. If you're higher than 50%, give yourself another point. Conversion is higher than 9%, give yourself another point. And conversion is higher than 12 points instead of 1 point, give yourself 2 points. And this is something, if you are not using this process, even on your first appointment, when you are talking with them on the phone, put yourself on speaker, record every first presentation using Zoom, and then at the end of that first or second presentation, run that first and second presentation recording through notes that is automatic now if you set it up through the Zoom. And then at the end of those notes, run those notes through ChatGPT or another AI service that you use, and have it evaluate you on how you can improve your stats in each of these areas that we just went through. This can be a game changer for everybody. Inch by inch, it's a cinch, and you can just continue to increase and make yourself better from each appointment to the next appointment that you give. The Afortus success formula on applications. When is the sale complete? Once the policy is issued, premium is collected, the application is completed, and when it goes issue paid, it's not done until those 4 steps happen. So follow through until those four steps happen. The important stats is conversion, days to issue paid, and placement. So have your assistant or yourself track when that application was submitted and track it through a spreadsheet or whatever you're using for tracking that, all the way to issue paid, and focus on getting that through at least in a couple of weeks. That's going to improve your placement. Next is what's important for placement: a complete application plus a cover sheet. We've learned that from F&G, Curry, and others, that when you submit that, we can't provide F&G or the underwriters everything that they need to know. And so what is not available on that application to be answered, type that out in a cover sheet and then send that along after the fact with that application. The underwriters and F&G absolutely love that, and it will help you tremendously in improving your placement on that business. Make the day after call. Every time I make a sell, the day after call is critical, just to make sure. It's just like that old Gremlins movie. If there is an objection or a concern, it's going to be real small, but they are real. That day after call is critical and solves a lot of problems, from a sleepless night or questions that came up after you finished and closed the sale and hung up the phone with them. They start bringing up questions in their mind. But if you can squash those in that day after call sell, it's much easier to do that than when they turn into a great big Godzilla. And you think by just letting them alone and not addressing them or not talking to your client that you're going to solve those. It's not going to happen. But you can very easily address those and solve them, even if you're new at our business, in that day after call, because they haven't created a great big concern like they will if you let it go for days and days and weeks on end. And then continue to stay in touch with them on a weekly basis. I let them know that there's 2 people, my assistant and Gloria, that's going to be following up with them throughout the process. And they have my contact number for anything else that they need to get in touch with. And then I'm just following up with them throughout the process to make sure that everything goes through smoothly. And then underwriting follow-up. Great way to give them a follow-up call. And doing what's right for the client. The drop in placements has coincided with the periods when Gloria was unavailable. So those of you that use Gloria, thank goodness that she's back with us. And those of you that don't, remember, even if you are the best at this or have done this on your own in the past, you will dramatically improve your placement. In fact, I just ask you this, look at your placement. And if it's not where it should be and you're not using Gloria, that's going to be a game changer for you. Next, on the Afortus Success Formula, in regards to applications and placement, what is your conversion and placement rate? Here's the quiz to quiz yourself on. If your conversion is higher than 15%, give yourself 3 points. It's higher than 10%, 2 points, 8%, 1 point. If your placement is higher than 75%, give yourself 3 points, 67%, 2 points, and 60%, 1 point. And then these are the important stats: conversion, days to issue paid, and placement. And grade yourself in those areas and take notes based upon what we've just been talking about what you can do in your business to make adjustments and course corrections. Like I said, we work too hard to make that sell, but these stats and conversion, days to issue paid, and placement make all the difference based upon how you're approaching and making that sell, and then what you're doing the day after and all the way until that case is issue paid. The Afortus Success Formula: referrals, maximizing referrals. The highest quality lead is a referral. Who is it that I'm most interested in meeting with either this week or next week? Is those that I just have sold and was able to get a referral from, because like identifies other like people. And so how do I follow the referral process? During every first appointment that I give, I let them know that, hey, there's several other colleagues that you know of that either miss or don't look at or don't do anything about the emails that they've received. And who else do you know of that would benefit from the same information we covered today? Please share my information with them or me with their information. And there's not only many colleagues that are not aware of our service, but also friends and family. In fact, this is a free service for any of them. No cost to anybody to meet with us. And because of your position with the state and the appointment that you scheduled with us, you're able to make this same offer to any of your friends and family. And I promise you that it's not fun to retire alone. You want to retire with all of your friends and family and colleagues that you know. So share their information with me so that I can help them retire the same way that I'm helping you retire. Again, the biggest thing is the number of referrals generated per sell is going to be the dramatic difference in how much production you write this year over any previous year. Here are other benefits. They're the low-hanging fruit. They are much easier to close than just any other appointment that you get. There's no appointment cost. They're perpetuating. So in other words, referrals beget referrals beget referrals, and they increases your ability to receive appointments. And our current contest, each referral sells, you can equal 1 entry into the drawing, and that drawing runs all the way through August 31st, 2026. If you have any more questions or want any more details on that, go into the chat, talk to Cumin about that, and he will be getting additional information out to everybody in regards to that. All right, let's quiz ourselves. 1 point for each referral received in June, 1 extra point for each referral that turned into a first given, and 1 more extra point for each referral sell that turned into. All right, the Afortus Success Formula. Now we can see it all together in one place. We have appointments that turn into presentations that turn into applications, that turn into placement, that turn into referrals. Appointments creates opportunities. Confirmations improves efficiency. Conversion creates applications. And placement creates issue paid business. Example 1, 10 first appointments scheduled, 8 confirmed first, 7 first given, 4 second set, 2 to 3 sales. Example 2, what I found is if I'm not giving at least 10 first appointments, something less than that, most likely I'm going to end up with 0 sales for that week. So how do I ensure that I make sure that I have at least 1 sale every week? I make sure that I've given at least 10 first appointments every single week. Understanding the metrics. Where agents lose money, our biggest leaks, not getting to 10 first appointments given, weak first presentations, not sticking to the F&A, no clear reason to show up to the second appointment, lack of follow-up and tight underwriting, failure to ask for and schedule referrals, because referrals, if for no other reason to ask them, just builds credibility in your first presentation, in your second presentation. And we never stop asking. We ask in the second, we ask in follow-ups, we ask in annual reviews. Continue to ask, and that continues to establish and build your credibility. My experience has been when I ask for referrals every single time, I will get an average of 1 appointment per every person that I ask, but I won't get them from every person I ask. Typically, every third person or every 5th person, and I'll get not just 1, but 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 that averages me out in about 1 for every appointment that I get. But the only way I've proven that that system works is I have to ask for appointments or referrals every single time. Every first that I give, that is always a process to every first presentation that I give. And it's right a part of the F&A. Just use it. All right. Understanding the metrics. What is your weakest step? Is it getting appointments? First presentation skill? Is it incorporating pain, hope, and doctor-patient into that first or second presentation? Conversion, placement, follow-up, referrals. Master 1 step this week and you'll improve. Master every step and you'll never have to worry about leads, sales, appointments, or income ever again. All right, quiz yourself. Give yourself 5 points if you'll identify your biggest weakness now and resolve to work on improving it this week and announce that weakness into ChatGPT or into the chat system right now, and work with your mentor to find and identify and review this presentation to make changes. And the biggest success formula that I've found to improve from appointment to appointment is I record every appointment and then I get a summary back from every Zoom that I go on, and I run that Zoom I run that Zoom chat that I got back from the Zoom recording. That's just a summary of that first presentation, and I run it through ChatGPT. And I ask the questions that are on the left side of the page to have chat give me the strengths that I can turn my weaknesses into. And that's how I improve from every first to every second to every close that I make. All right, now let's total our scores. Total our scores and share on the chat or unmute yourself and share where you ended up for this presentation here. If you're 0 to 8, you can turn this around right now with the skill set that we just helped you identify. 9 to 15, keep working. 16 to 22, commendable. 23 to 29, very good. and 30 plus is excellent. Please share in the chat what your scores were. Share with your leaders, and those of you that are so inclined, share right here with all of us, and we can use the remainder time to share where you ended up and talk through that so that we can help you improve or congratulate you in areas where you had success based upon these scores. While you're working up to sharing those through the chat or live with us, let me just start off by sharing this with you. When I first started in the business, we had what we called, what we now call today, thumbs up, thumbs down, or stand up, sit down on a weekly basis based upon the production that we had written for that previous week. And for those of you that don't know this program, please talk with your regional manager so that you're doing it inside of your region each week. I can tell you that this was a big reason that caused me to do extra help to my clients each week to help make sure that I was helping them fill their income gap and ensure that they were going to end up where they needed to by their retirement time. And how did I fight for that? Because I wanted to fight to be on top every single week at the end of each week by ending up #1 in stand-up sit-downs, or what we now call today thumbs up, thumbs down. And I can share with you this, that when I first started looking around the office that I was working in and my mentor and those that had been doing this for quite some time, I never felt that I was going to be able to compete with any of them. In fact, many of you that have read my book, Zero to Hero, and if you haven't gotten it, it's available to you on Amazon. Please read it. It shares this story in detail. And I couldn't, when I first started, I couldn't sell my way I couldn't sell my way out of a wet paper bag. I was called the monotone daggum crybaby. Why? Because I just wasn't able to turn my first presentation that I just gotten memorized into something that would change the course of the people that I was meeting with. And it took me where it took somebody else 10 first presentations to give. In the beginning, 20 and 30 presentations for me to be able to, even in spite of me, to make a sell. But each week I continued to work with my mentors and improve from turning more of my first into seconds and more of my seconds into sells, to where fairly soon I was able to then start seeing my name on the leaders board. I was able to start seeing that I was standing up for at least one sell that week, or standing up and beating somebody else in the room, to where then I was able to be middle of the pack and then in the top 10% of the company and then #1. And it was all because of a presentation that was given to me that I just gave to each of you. And I rinsed and repeated every single appointment that I gave until I improved and became better and better. And I never in a million years felt like that I'd ever be able to beat some of the first people that I got in the business with, and especially my mentor. And there became a day to where I was able to do that. And I was able to find myself on top, not because I'm the best, but because I worked at my craft over and over again in every one of these instances until I was able to be the best. And I share that with you for one reason, and one major reason for you is because if you feel like I felt, you too can also turn things around and become the best, and see that inch by inch it's a cinch, and work your way from at whatever level you're at right now to being on top of the heap throughout your weeks and months ahead in your future with Afortus. And with that, love to hear any of your comments, any of the chats, or anything else that we'd like to close up this meeting with, or hear from some of our top experts on their feedback and thoughts that they're thinking about based upon what we've just talked about here today in this call. Heath, any thoughts?
Well, I think it's absolutely awesome. This is something that should be reviewed over and over and over again. Certainly something that you got to take apart piece by piece. And, if you don't have that score where you need it, work on those parts where you need to improve and go get it. This was great training today. Thank you.
Thank you, Heath. And let's close out today with this. If you would please go to YouTube and go to the Afortus channel. And when you go to the Afortus channel, you will see that you can like this recording. We have been live throughout this entire Zoom call on our YouTube channel. And we need everybody that is on this call to like that and to subscribe so that we can absolutely explode our YouTube channel. Our purpose for this is to not just do things on an individual basis, but to share our great opportunity with the world so those others that are interested in our services and what it is that we have to offer can also be made aware of our great company and the opportunities that are available. And it's going to take a minute, but it's going to start based upon each of you liking, subscribing, and reviewing on YouTube this meeting and our future meetings to come. And our goal is to be able to explode this to the point to where this is going to be a major place that we can influence others to help be a part of us. Please share this with all of your friends and family. That's where it's going to really take off to the next level. And you'll be able to get appointments through this process that you would have never thought of in the past, and to where this is going to help you in building your agency and building others that want to be a part of your team and come on board with you as well too. So go out there, do that right now, subscribe, like this channel, and we will see you, and I mean you and all of you, at the top of Afortus. Have a great one. See you at the top. Bye-bye, Afortus.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Hello.